What's going on, y'all? Elliot here with MovieFiles. I'm about to head into a theater to check out the new Luca Guadagnino film. It is September 23rd. I think this movie comes out middle of October, so a pretty early screening of After the Hunt. I'm a big Luca Guadagnino fan. I have been on a tear for the past decade with this man, whether it be Suspiria, Call Me By Your Name, We Are Who We Are television show, Bones and All. Am I missing one? Of course, last year, Challengers, and Queer. So I'm a big fan of his work. I love this cast: Julia Roberts, Ayo Edebiri, and Andrew Garfield. It seems like it's some Me Too situation going on at a college campus with the student and the professor, and one of the professors Julia Roberts plays doesn't defend her. I don't know. I've only saw the one trailer and I was intrigued by it, but I'm really excited to see it. I know it didn't get the best word of mouth from the festivals, but hey, I'm here to check it out. I'm a big fan of this talent. I'm a big fan of what this movie has to offer. So I'm going to let y'all know if After the Hunt is worth checking out. Again, I'm going to probably put this out closer to the release date. We'll see what the embargo says. But I'll see you guys on the other side and let you all know in my spoiler-free review if After the Hunt is worth checking out. Raise your hand if this is your third time trying to record a review in your car when it's raining at 10:30 at night. Hey, my name is Elliot from MovieFiles. We're talking about After the Hunt. No spoilers. It's raining outside right now, which I think is a perfect way to describe my feeling. I don't want to say heartbroken. It's a little bit extreme, but I am very lukewarm on After the Hunt. As a Luca Guadagnino fan, this is probably my least favorite film of his. Of all the movies I've seen pretty much all of his movies with the exception of a couple. But we're talking about After the Hunt. No spoilers. The basic idea and the premise behind this film is a classic he said, she said narrative where we have two professors, Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, and a student who Ayo plays by the name of Maggie. Something happens between Ayo's character and Andrew where there was a line cross between a student and a teacher, and the film follows the aftermath of that. But in a very interesting way, we don't follow the victim. We don't follow the person the victim's accusing of what happened. We're following the person in the middle, which is Julia Roberts' character, because she's befriending both these people. She has a longer relationship with Andrew, and then a more of a student mentor mentee close relationship with Maggie's character. But she's in the middle, and we're following her. What did I like about After the Hunt? Well, number one, Luca's going to be Luca. And what I mean by that is he is a phenomenal director with so much attention to detail. There's a language spoken within this film. There's a lot of unspoken moments that he's able to capture what the character's thinking without them saying it. There's a lot of body language. There's a lot of following of the hands, what the intentions of the character. Such a well-directed film. The way he puts, because I will say the script is very uneven, but the way he's able to find the interesting character beats, the quieter moments, and make them so tantalizing, so interesting. He's such a great director. This is my least favorite film of his, like I mentioned, that I've seen, but he's still such a exciting, experimental director that I'm just such a fan of his. I thought he really elevated a story that wasn't that great, or I should say wasn't that great, wasn't well put together. Very uneven script, but Luca did a good job directing. Performances, Big Bear fan, Big Ayo fan, apologies. A little late night here, but I thought she was really solid. I think there were some moments that she chose, like performance beats that I didn't think that she really gave enough gravitas for me, but for what she was given as far as a character that is a victim of a certain situation, or is she? Then, you gotta see the film to discover that. But as the film unfolds, you kind of learn who she is. You kind of understand her motives, which was kind of unanswered moments, but we'll leave that for a further discussion. But I thought for the most part she gave a solid performance. Julia Roberts, as a kid of the 90s, I grew up watching a lot of her films, and I haven't seen Julia in a role like this ever that I can think of, and I haven't seen her on the big screen in a while. I know she was in that Netflix movie a couple years ago, Leave the World Behind, I think was the name of it, but she was really solid because, again, this is a very interesting position to be put in. Who do you believe? Whose side do you take? Do you believe the female that's accusing your friend who you've been close to and on a lot of different levels, as you'll discover as this film unfolds. But I thought Julia was really solid. Again, she's a character that has a lot of layers, a lot of depth, a lot of dimensions, a lot of complexity. This is a movie that follows a lot of unlikable characters, which is meant to be the case, makes you feel uncomfortable. Whose side do you take at certain points? But I thought Julia gave a really strong performance. MVPs, though, her husband, Michael Stuhlbarg, who's in a lot of Luca films, he is phenomenal. I wish he was in the film a lot more. I get it's not his story, but he was really great. He plays a really good husband, but also there's a flaw to him, and it plays into Julia's character, Alma, who she curates who she puts herself around for a particular reason. But I really enjoyed Michael. Great taste in music for the character, by the way. Frederick, I think his name was. The scene stealer, the character that wasn't in it enough, who was so magnetic, is Andrew Garfield. He plays Hank, and he is not in this movie enough where there's a huge chunk of this movie that he's absent, and the absence of that character is felt. He's so good in this role. He's so captivating. Great character, great performance. I wish he was in it more, but as you all can tell, I thought the performances were really good to great. Direction, great. Cinematography, great. The score, Trent Reznor, the score. There's a couple musical notes that I was like, why? Why do we do that? Besides that, great score, great soundtrack. So those are the things that I'm like, I really enjoyed. There are conversations, uncomfortable dialogue that's meant to stir up the pot that I wish the film would have spent more time on. I mean, we're dealing with, Ayo's character, Maggie. She's a black woman in this very hot, Yale, and she's accusing this white male professor of what she's accusing him on. And then, obviously Julia's white, and it's just like there's race that the film kind of touches on that I don't think they explored further enough. There is the conversation of like, believing someone in this position. Do you question anything, or do you just believe them? There's the moral of these characters. There's addiction, obsession. There's the striving to reach something, and who do you push out of the way? Who do you bring up with you on that mountaintop of greatness you're chasing for that can cloud your judgment? And there's so much this film could have did that I just feel like a lot of conversations, very divisive conversations, but the film is just so uneven. It's just like it touches on things, but it never feels complete. It's a very unsatisfying experience. Hate's a strong word, but I very much dislike the ending of this movie. I thought the ending it should have ended 15 minutes before it actually did. It's like this epilogue that I felt was so unnecessary, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth. But I think my biggest issue is how uneven the narrative and the structuring of how the story unfolds. Like and I'm not one of those people who say the film should have did this, but within this film, there's so many different ways we could have went. There's this love triangle angle we could have went. There's this obsession, psychological thriller that we could have went with. But the way, and also Luca, he's such a provocative director with such interest in, seduction and people lusting over things. But this film didn't have any of that, which is surprising, especially with the subject matter. But as my lights turn off, my apologies, my light decided to cut off, which means wrap it up. After the Hunt is a film that has a lot to say, but doesn't have a lot to say in a way that feels complete. I feel like the film is way too long as far as runtime. I feel like the film spends a lot of the movie in spots that were just uninteresting to me. And great performances, great direction, great score, really well shot, but I'm lukewarm, very lukewarm. With that being said, I'm more mixed positive than I am mixed negative. With that said, I'm at a very right in the middle 3 out of 5. I'm almost leaning towards a 2.8, 2.5 almost, just because there are so many incomplete things what this film has to offer. But then I lean towards that 3 because there are really strong performances. There are some really bold creative choices that spoke to me, and there is enough there to enjoy. But yeah, ultimately, I wouldn't say disappointed, but this is my least favorite Luca film that I've seen. So 3 out of 5 for me in the After the Hunt. I saw this was September 23rd. It comes out October 10th, I think limited, and then wide on the 17th, and then later this year it'll be on Amazon, if not the top of next year. I feel like, and I don't want to tell you how to spend your money and how to spend, if you want to see it, go see it. If you don't, you don't. But I don't think it's like run out to the theaters to see. I think it's a really interesting film to sit down and watch in the comfort of your own home, but that's just me. But let me know in the comments, man, After the Hunt. What worked, what didn't work? What were some of the moments that you thought were strong, which weren't strong? Do you think this film has any Oscar chances? Let me know your Luca. If you're a Luca fan, where would you put this amongst the films you've seen of his? And let's have some dialogue and a conversation. Because this film, I will say, there is a lot to be said about it. It's a film that challenges you at points. I think it thinks it's smarter than it really is, but there is some challenging elements, which I can appreciate. So let me know in the comments. And as always, as the YouTube algorithms, like, share, again, comment, consider subscribing to the channel, because this is one of many. It's that time of the year. We're going to be getting films on top of films for that time of the Oscar, award season. So you will be seeing more of me very soon. But thank you all for watching. Stay safe. I hope I make it home safely in this rain. If you don't see me again, well, all right, I'm joking. You all be safe, and I'll catch you all on the next review.